And of course you know this when you stand in line at Heathrow Airport and it says BA flight number 1234 is delayed for 3 hours. That you go berserk, you go mad. But when they say, well, ladies and gentlemen, BA flight number 1234 is 3 hours delayed for operational reasons. We're like, okay. Operational reasons? I can understand this. Yeah, it makes sense. Every reason is operational in the airline business. It's a non-valid response. It's not an argument, but we are happy with just an argument. It's not that terribly important how valid, how strong the argument is. Both cases are completely identical, but half of you switched your opinion when it came to the now. And the now is very, very strong. And the now is one of those thinking errors also that leads you astray. Assume you are there in this chair, and he invited people just like you and me to sit in this chair and to do this experiment. When do you think you would have stopped giving electric shocks? At which voltage? When the guy asks you politely on the other room, when he says, it hurts, when he starts screaming, when he starts going nauseous and falls off the chair. What is your guess? When would you have stopped? Over half the people went up to 450 volts. Deadly 450 volts. And not one single test subject said, this is a stupid experiment, I'm not partaking in this. Not one single one, surprisingly. Now, I have to tell you, these were actors on the other side. There was no electricity flowing, but the test subject didn't know that, of course. I once forgot to say this in Germany at a talk, and everybody went quiet, and nobody asked any questions. And everybody left the room, and I asked myself at home, what did I do wrong? And I forgot nothing happened, no electricity, so you can all cheer up. But nonetheless, it begs the question, why did people go up to deadly 415 volts? But one thing is always part of that briefing. The captain will say, dear co-pilot, I'm not the Pope, I'm not infallible, I will make mistakes. If you see something, please speak up, and I will do the same with you. And this has led to tremendous advances. So here we come into the room, the professor explains the experiment, this is the line, reference line A, B, and C. Which line it corresponds to the reference line? The first guy says A, and A, and now it's your turn. What do you say? Would you say B? Again, roughly half the people said A. That's amazing, because it's apparent that B is the right answer. Women, by the way, are more susceptible to this error than men. With the overconfidence, we men are more susceptible to it. But here, women are more susceptible to this. And that's really amazing. You've put in a lot of work in acquiring that mate. Let's say you've been running after a woman, you really want that woman, and finally you have a date with her. You overvalue that woman. This effect really happens. Ladies and gentlemen, go to Paris, if Paris is your favorite destination. You've spent $5,000 anyway. It should not matter how you decide. The $5,000 you've lost. Today we look back. Of course they should have evacuated it. Hindsight is very clear, and we have the additional information that it was actually attacked. But at that point you had mixed signals. And the only way to say was it good not to evacuate is to go into the archives, and hopefully you have a lot of archives to see how was the decision made. I think we don't have that knowledge anymore, that's gone. We didn't have videos of those meetings, but that's the only way to assess whether this was the right decision. Not by looking at the outcome, but by looking at the decision process.